Hi everyone. Hi Mom. Okay, I thought I would do a little playing today, and I thought I would try and record it, see what happens. So if you're watching it, it worked out. I need to make a tag for the journal that I'm working on at the moment, and so I thought I would show you how I go about that. Yeah, I'm just going to play. If I make mistakes, oh well. I've cut out of a manila envelope or folder that I got from the dollar store using the Tim Holtz, the Bigs die. And I've covered the top of it with a thin covering of gesso, just to prevent a lot of the leakage, because I never know if I'm going to use sprays or whatever. If you do that and you're using sprays, it doesn't penetrate quite the same way, but it still gives a really, really pretty effect. And so, I don't know what I'm doing when I do it. That's the honest truth. I just play. So what I thought I would try today is I'm going to just go ahead and, this one is tumbled glass. I'm just going to go ahead and just add a little bit of color to the background. No thought involved, just sort of giving it a little bit of a background color. It will change because I do plan on putting some sprays on there, but I thought I would just try this first and see what happens. So you're going to play right along with me. And I do want to add a little bit of a darker background to it, so I am going to just use a little bit of the vintage photo. Nothing major, just a little swirl. Okay, that's really all I want to do. I'm going to be using some StazOn. I'm going to be using some stamps, a stencil. I sort of have an idea in my head of what I want to do, but I'm not quite sure it's going to work. So we'll try. I thought I would use the Color Bloom, which is the soft teal, and it's a really beautiful color. And it's kind of, well, it's one of the colors that I'm using in my book. So I'm just going to do some blobbing. And I do want to mix my colors, so I'm going to go with the Lindy's. This one's Shabby Tuxtine Teal. It's much darker, which is why I started with the lighter, because I don't want it super dark. And I'm going to do, just a couple of squirts here. And then, let's see, how about some Opal Sea Oats maybe? That might be too pink. Yeah, let's try it. Why not? Why not? Like I said, I am just playing. You can see I'm just doing it on a paper towel. It kind of helps absorb some of that. Now, if you're getting it nice and wet, but it's not running the way you want it, you can just do a light squirt of water over it. And that'll make it a little bit more fluid. And I'm just going to go ahead and tip it just to run it down the edges, and just kind of gives a different effect. When you're done, I kind of let it absorb into the paper towel a little bit. You don't want to blot it because that'll take all your sheen out. So I'm going to go ahead and dry that. I try and start with the center, and then it'll sort of flatten it out a little bit. Okay, that'll do for now. I'm just going to blot some of that off the edge there. The edge I don't care about so much because I'm going to go back with StazOn and border it. Okay, I kind of like the way that turned out. So now what I want to do is I have the stencil, and I'm not doing kind of like a grunge look so much as, you know, it's birds, butterflies, flowers, that kind of thing. And I really love this particular part of the stencil. So I've gone ahead and I've masked off. Now, the reason I've masked it upside down, it's just a habit, because if I mask it this way and then lay it down and it's on paper, when I pull it up, my paper is going to rip. So I mask it upside down and then do it like that. Okay? So this is upside down to me, but I'm going to give it a whirl, see what happens. Now originally I was going to ink it in with some Tim Holtz, but yeah, that's not going to work. So I think I'm going to use this, which is a StazOn. Now I'm going to pounce because this is quite a delicate little stencil, and it's already, this part of the wing's already moving a bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and, this is saddle brown, and it gives sort of a gold browny color. I was going to go with a dark brown, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go over it with some embossing powder. Hopefully it'll work. We'll see if it'll stay wet long enough, because I'm pouncing it over the Lindy's. It keeps the StazOn wetter a little bit longer, and I have this gorgeous, I don't know if it'll work. Actually, I think I'm going to use the other one. This one has gold in it. I don't know that it'll work, but we'll give it a try. So finish my sentence, Cheryl. It is the Lindy's, what's it called? Angel Wings Gold is what it's called. So we will give that a whirl and see what happens. Now I keep a sheet. What did I do with it? Okay, well, just use a new one. Now, when I use the scrap paper, I actually put quite a good crease in the middle of that. So it makes it much easier to funnel back into its little pot. I don't know if that'll work. We'll see. I have to put this back first. You wouldn't have believed what I did the other day. This is usually what I do immediately. I put it back in the pot. But for some reason I didn't do that the other day. Forgot that it was in there as it was folded. Lifted up the paper to move it, and I had whoosh, a whole whack of embossing powder everywhere. It was kind of funny. Okay, I'm going to try embossing that. Ooh. It's stuck where, where you might not necessarily want it, but in this particular instance, I really like that. That turned out really kind of pretty. Okay, so then what I want to do, I'm going to move this so I have more of a flat surface. Yeah, so just so you know, if you're using sprays and then you're using archival ink or StazOn ink, if you're inking over top of like your sprays, it will stay, I can still feel it. It's a little tacky still, but there are ways around it. I mean, if you're impatient, you don't want to wait overnight for it to dry, I just put a little clear embossing powder over it and just, yeah, no biggie. Okay, now do I want to go with this one again, or do I want to go dark? I think I want to go dark. So let's try potting soil. Let's see what that does. I have this really pretty stamp. I honestly, I know you're going to ask me where it's from. I don't know. I have no idea. The way I package my stuff, I throw all the packaging out, so I never know. This is going to be really random, not perfect by any means. It's just going to be what it is. So if you don't want to mess up your table with archival ink, you can always lay it down on something that will absorb the excess ink. You know. Ooh, I'm liking that. Do a little bit there. And do a little there. Ooh, I like that. This is turning out quite nice. A little there. And let's just go in the middle. Bam. Okay. I like the way that's turning out. Now, long lid. Okay, then I'm going to just take some and just run it along the edge there. Muddy it up some. Must be getting low. It's not. I can feel my thumb sticking to it. So I'm definitely going to have to let this dry before I... You know why it's doing that? It's because I gessoed. It takes longer for the Lindy's to dry over gesso. I hope I'm on camera. I haven't even been looking. I guess I'll find out when I view this. Okay, and then, I don't know, I'm just going to do this. Darken it up a little bit. Needs splats. That's what it needs. Okay. What have I got sitting here? Ooh, I have walnut ink. Well, let's see what that does. I know everybody's going, no, stop, stop. But you know what? Sometimes I can't. Can't stop myself. Really doesn't want to dry. Okay, well, I'll fix it. I'm just going to do this. So as you can see, I have no thought process. It just comes out, whatever it is. I do have kind of an idea though for, where did I put them? Gelatos. And is that the gold? What's the dark one? Is that the same color? I can't tell these colors. Boy, no, that one. I want that one. I'm gonna try this and see what happens. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, I like that way better. Okay. I'm going to stop now. Okay, so there's the tag. Let me tell the photo nice and close and get the details in there. I'm trying to move my lamp so it's not shining right on there. So there it is. You know, you can do really simple things with, you know, not a lot. And, you know, if you wanted more reaction, you could splatter it with a bit of water. Yeah, like this. I can't stop myself. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that, oh, I like that. That's really nice. There we go. Okay. Well, you know, I didn't promise anything, did I? Okay, just keep in mind that when you're doing something like this and you've got embossing powder on there, remember, every time you use your heat gun, you're going to reheat that embossing powder, so don't touch it or you're going to mess up your image, okay? So I really like that with a little bit of water on that as well. So there you go, that's my tag for my journal, and should be finished that today, you guys, so I will be posting that pretty soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.